What do Livia Soprano, Cersei Lannister, and Gillian Darmody all have in common? They're some of the most manipulative, complex, and unforgettable mothers in TV history.
I wish the Lord would take me.
Come on, Ma. You know, there's probably plenty of nice gents in this place that want to date with a lovely young woman like you.
Look, I'm going downstairs.
She thinks she's intelligent. I can't quite tell. Not that it matters.
You could be free, you know.
Beg pardon?
You're an attractive girl with artistic leanings, painting and all. Waiting for a man you're not married to, who may never return.
Livia Soprano is the mother of Tony Soprano, a woman whose manipulation and emotional control play a huge part in shaping Tony Soprano's world. She's also the mother to Janice and Barbara, Tony's two sisters. Janice being the oldest, Tony the middle child, and Barbara the baby.
Some family reunion. The woman who birthed them all is barred from the premises.
I don't think you should get too close, Janice. Look what you tried to do to Tony.
I have no fantasies about my mother.
Cersei Lannister is the mother of Joffrey, Marcella, and Tommen.
You are my darling boy, and the world will be exactly as you want it to be.
So you agree? The Starks are enemies.
Everyone who isn't us is an enemy.
She was married to King Robert Baratheon until his death in the middle of season 1.
Was it ever possible for us? Was there ever a time, ever a moment?
No.
Her husband Robert was never her real love. That was her brother, Jaime Lannister. Gillian Darmody is the mother of Jimmy Darmody, who she had very young after being given to the Commodore by Nucky Thompson, who wanted to look good in the eyes of the Commodore.
Why did you come here, Ma?
Oh, baby. I'm just the loneliest person on earth.
Livia and Gillian were also grandmothers.
Cemetery dogs. They'll take your hand off.
Gillian, fix it.
Let me see, darling.
Gillian. You know, most women are proud to be called Grandma.
Not while the peaches are still in season.
Livia Soprano is a master manipulator, using guilt and emotional control to shape the actions of those around her.
But how could this happen?
I don't know. What the fuck do we do now, Livia?
We go see him.
Tony?
Of course. She's my only son.
Cersei Lannister, while ruling with fear, also reveals vulnerability behind her cold, ruthless exterior in certain moments, particularly when it concerns her children.
Shh. Calm, my sweet.
They're still fighting.
No one's going to hurt you.
Or her brother, Jaime, with whom she has an incestuous relationship and shares 3 children. Gillian also reveals rare moments of vulnerability, like when she tells her son, Jimmy, that she's the loneliest person in the world. Something that Gillian had in common with Cersei was incest, though not with her brother, her son, Jimmy. While Livia was on the complete other end of the spectrum and had homicidal tendencies toward her son. Even though the first assassination attempt on Tony failed, Livia was such a master manipulator that she even manipulated Artie Bucco into almost shooting Tony after the first attempt failed.
After what my son did to you, oh, how can I look you in the face? You don't blame him for setting the fire? Well, you're a bigger man than some.
And you know what? A month from now, and I don't mean to sound cold, he won't even remember who she...
I'll remember. I'll remember.
While we don't get to see Livia Soprano as a child, we do get a flashback to some moments from her life with her husband, Johnny Boy, during Tony's childhood. Johnny Boy was not faithful to his wife, and she went through a particularly traumatic experience, miscarrying in the hospital alone while Johnny Boy was with his mistress. But he made Tony lie on the spot to his mother and say that they were at a baseball game and then had car trouble.
Ask Anthony, you don't believe me.
With Cersei, we do get a flashback of Cersei as a child, and we also hear stories of her cruelty to her younger brother, Tyrion.
Did it ever occur to you that I might be the one who deserves your confidence and your trust? Not your sons, not Jaime or Tyrion, but me.
If you'd been born after those feminists, you would have been the real gangster.
I don't distrust you because you're a woman. You've allowed that boy to ride roughshod over you and everyone else in this city.
But if it weren't for my children, I'd have thrown myself from the highest window in the Red Keep. They're the reason I'm alive. And no one can take that away from me, not even Joffrey. How it feels to have someone. Someone of your own.
Jaime and Tyrion didn't turn out nearly as dark and cold as her, so you can't blame it all on the father. Just like Junior said, you can't blame it all on the Justice Department. Now for Gillian had the most unstable childhood.
Who looks after you? Whose house is that?
Nobody's house.
Is it an orphanage?
After being discovered by Nucky Thompson, things only got worse. Instead of really helping her, Nucky helped her by giving her to the Commodore while knowing the horrible things the Commodore had done with other young girls.
Is something wrong?
No. No.
Do we have to leave? Can I go down to the beach?
And that's how young Gillian ended up being a young mother to Jimmy Darmody. In a flashback we get of Nucky Thompson's childhood, the pomp and circumstance and gold associated with the Commodore and his rule in Atlantic City makes me think of the gold and the ceremonial worship of whoever sits on the Iron Throne in Westeros. And even more so when we think of how young Gillian was given to the king, Commodore, or king, Commodore.
That palace you live in, up there on that hill.
More, do ya? Huh?
You and I are here. Together. That's all that matters. Don't leave me.
Cersei's said to love her kids, if nothing or no one else. But is it really love for her kids? Or just love for an extension of herself?
I killed your high sparrow. And all his little sparrows. All his septons, all his scepters. All his filthy soldiers. Because it felt good to watch them burn.
But in any case, that's the reputation that Cersei gets as someone who cares for her children.
You've always loved your children. More than yourself.
Gillian Darmody is similar to Cersei in the overbearing, protective of her children sense, which they of course express in different ways.
Babies are like animals. They're no different than dogs. Somebody has to teach them right from wrong. I gave my life to my children on a silver platter.
In the end, Livia, Cersei, and Gillian stand out for their iconic and complex portrayals of motherhood, each shaping their respective worlds in mostly dark ways through deceit, strength, and their own unique tragedies. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear from you.